Alright, let's talk about what's really going on with the newly revealed details in the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell cases. So, you've probably seen a lot of headlines, a lot of speculation, and a lot of mystery. But a new filing from the Department of Justice just dropped, shedding some light on what actually went down behind those closed grand jury doors. And the answer? It's honestly kinda wild. Here's the bombshell. Both the Epstein and Maxwell grand juries heard testimony from only 2 law enforcement witnesses. That's it. No parade of victims, no shocking insider confessions, just 2 law enforcement officials laying out the facts. For the Epstein case, which met in 2019, it was a single FBI agent. For the Maxwell case, the same FBI agent was joined by an NYPD detective who also worked with the FBI's Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. Their job? Basically to corroborate what was already in the indictments. Now you might be wondering, why is this news coming out now? Well, the DOJ is pushing to unseal the grand jury transcripts, arguing that the public has a right to know what was presented. There's a huge appetite for transparency, especially in cases that have rocked public trust and involve so many big names and unanswered questions. This push to unseal isn't coming out of nowhere. A 1997 ruling lets judges make a call on opening up grand jury records if they think the public interest outweighs the need for secrecy. The DOJ is saying, look, most of what's in those transcripts is already out there, especially after the Maxwell trial, so why not let people see it for themselves? But here's the catch, don't expect massive new revelations. Former Manhattan prosecutors are already saying these transcripts likely just confirm what's already in the public indictments. So if you're hoping for some secret list of names or shocking new testimony, you might be disappointed. Let's not forget, Ghislaine Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year sentence in federal prison for luring underage girls for Epstein's abuse. She was convicted in 2021, and just recently, she spent almost 2 days answering questions from the DOJ about 100 different people connected to Epstein's crimes. There's still a lot of legal wrangling. Her lawyers even asked for immunity in exchange for her testimony before Congress, but that was shot down. And now she's appealing her conviction all the way to the Supreme Court, arguing that Epstein's old 2008 non-prosecution deal should have covered her too. And about Epstein, he was arrested in 2019, a whole decade after that controversial plea deal in Florida. Before he could stand trial on new federal sex trafficking charges, he died by suicide in his jail cell. This left so many people frustrated, angry, and suspicious about how these powerful people seemed to escape accountability for so long. So, what does all this mean? The DOJ is trying to balance transparency with privacy and procedure. The public wants answers, but the reality is that some mysteries might stay secrets forever, buried in legal files and grand jury rooms. If and when those transcripts are unsealed, I'll be right here, breaking down what's actually inside them. No hype, just facts. Until then, remember, sometimes the truth is a lot less dramatic than the rumors. But knowing the real story is what counts. Stay tuned, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.